What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 9, episode 14, and they could have kept this. They could have kept this. Now, I didn't watch the episode on Sunday because Sunday was my birthday. Thank you to all of you guys who wished me happy birthday. I really appreciate it. Felt loved and supported, okay? But I had a good birthday, and I just decided not to watch Potomac or Married to Medicine. Like, I was watching movies that I've been trying to watch for like a while now that I just didn't really feel like I had the time to. So I didn't get a chance to watch it on Sunday. But then when I got on Twitter on Monday, the girls was upset, and not in the upset way of like angry. It was just like, girl, this was stupid. Y'all could have kept this type of energy. Like, this is dumb. And I was like, well, based off the clips that I saw, I thought it was a pretty, the clips I saw made it seem like the episode was decent. But then when I watched the episode, I said, oh yeah, y'all were right. They could have kept this. They could have kept this. But let's get into the review. Sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy, just a little bit. And I got a few things to talk about because what was this episode? But let's get into it. So, first up, the reunion. So, it definitely looks like they filmed the reunion on January the 9th, which I think was last Thursday. And Andy posted, his ceremonial picture of him sitting in his chair with his Potomac cue cards. And he posted hashtag RHOP day. So, everybody was like, okay, this is cute and all, Andy, but where is that seating chart? Because we were all wondering, is Karen showing up or not? Is she gonna be there or not? They posted that seating chart, and when I tell you the internet for a hot minute, especially on the housewife side, was set ablaze, I said, Karen. All I could think about is that TikTok of Grandma saying, Grandma and Gizmo, Grandma not mad, Grandma just hurt. I am hurting. That's
Grandma not mad, Grandma just hurt. I'm hurt. I am hurt. I am hurt. I am hurting.
all I could think of. Because I said, Karen, what did we do? What did we do to deserve this? What did we do, Karen? I said, oh my gosh, she really didn't come. Bro, ugh. So the seating chart goes, Andy in the middle as always, Giselle on the right-hand side as first chair, then Ashley, then Kiarna. Then on the left-hand side, you have Mia, Wendy, and then Stacy. And I said, what we about to talk about? This better be like a two-part, honestly, scrap the two-part. This better be an hour and 30 minutes. That's it. That's all. A one part. Because what are we going to talk about? Like, legit, what are we going to talk about, y'all? And I know I've been saying that I didn't find this season boring. I don't think it's been boring. I think it's been decent, but it has been like underwhelming in a sense because I think everybody was expecting like, oh my gosh, we don't have Candace, we don't have Robin, Karen's DUI, Mia's storyline. I think everyone was hyping it up so much that like when it came to us, we were like, oh, this is it. And I also feel like, for me, I think I enjoyed the season to a certain extent because it was a reprieve from the toxicity of what it's been since season 5. Like, it was just nice to, like, watch a show and not have, like, very, like, strong emotions about an episode, But we really, like, when you sit back and think about it, we really didn't have anything to talk about this season other than Mia and her whole situation with, her pimped village, and then Karen and her DUI. Because when you go down, what is Giselle going to talk about? I don't really care about Giselle being an empty nester. She was that last season. I really thought she was going to lean into the whole like Will situation with her father, but that was like 5 seconds of one episode and then we got away from it. I don't care about Ashley and Josh and her getting a divorce from Michael because that's been happening for the past 2 or 3 years. I also, in conjunction with Giselle, don't care about G&A. You know, don't care about what Ashley and Giselle got going on with GNA. Kiana is trying her best to sell us that Greg is the right man for her. But it's like, girl, clearly we can tell that there's a lot of like miscommunication and unaligning of yokes. Like y'all are not equally aligned, y'all are not equally yoked, and nobody thinks y'all should get married. I know I don't think you should. And it clearly seems like that man don't want to marry you. But you can't see that. And then you think about Mia. I reach my capacity with that storyline that I really don't care to learn anything further. So it's like it's above me. It's above me now, you know? Then when we think of Wendy, all Wendy keeps talking about is her being 40. Okay. You look nice. But what else? And then Stacy, I don't care about this fake relationship that she got with TJ, because that's what it is. It's fake. Y'all both are in cahoots. Y'all got together because you can't talk about your soon-to-be ex-husband and he trying to get some more camera time to put his face out there. But either way, it feels fake. I don't care. So Karen, why would you do this again? I am hurting. I am hurting. I am hurting. A lot of people had different opinions. Like some people were like, hey, if I was Karen, I wouldn't go to the reunion either. Then you had other people saying, well, Karen's a coward. She's pathetic. She couldn't really face the music or take accountability. Why couldn't she do what Robin or Candace did? You know, Candace came for season 5 of the reunion after the fight. Robin season 8 after the infidelity with Juan. And like, why couldn't she just face the music? Then you had other people saying, well, the only way that they could give Karen grace is if she went to rehab. Well, lo and behold, on the same day that, you know, we found out that the reunion was filmed on the 9th, Karen released a statement via her manager, Ryan Trisdale, to let us know that she was in a private recovery program. So it says this: Karen Huger releases a statement via her rep. Karen Huger made the important decision to enter a private recovery program, so was unable to attend the reunion taping today. She was fully supported in this choice. We stand behind Karen as she embarks on a meaningful journey and are proud of her for taking such a significant step forward in her personal growth. And even with that statement, the people who are like, hey, I'll give her grace if she's in rehab, began to give her grace. Others still held to the fact that they felt like this was a cowardice move, that she was only going because she got convicted, and really don't see it for Karen. And when I thought about it and I sat back and like, you know, analyze the whole situation as a whole, I think everybody's feelings to a certain extent are definitely valid. You're definitely valid to be disgusted by Karen's behavior or wanting to give her grace. But I think it's to a certain extent, because at the end of the day, ain't none of us freedom on the line. Like, because when I thought about it, I said, would I have done what Karen has did? I don't know. But then I think about it, do I want to be in jail for the next 2 years? No. Okay, I'm not built for that, all right? And neither is Karen. So I think her taking this step in order to maybe lessen her sentence is what she did. Maybe this genuinely was her rock bottom. Like, you can't hide this anymore. Like, them videos are out there forever. The embarrassment, the shame. Her kids probably are definitely embarrassed and ashamed. Like, she probably has now had to really like face like her demons, and maybe this is her rock bottom. I don't know. I really don't know, you know? And Karen isn't the first housewife not to come to a reunion and be asked back. But I do understand people wanting her fired, but I don't think it's that serious, because Luann got convicted of a DUI. She didn't go to her reunion for Real Housewives of New York and then proceeded to come back next season as a friend of. You know? And I understand that a lot of people are like, well, that was Luann's first DUI. Yeah, but she still got convicted of a DUI. Same with Shannon. Still got convicted of a DUI. And, you know, whether it's the first, second, or third one, you still got convicted, you know? But I don't know. I do feel like people's feelings are valid, especially those who have lost somebody or who have been harmed at the hands of somebody who was drinking and driving. But I do feel like some of the anger and vitriol towards Karen is a little too parasocial, because I'm like, yes, you can be disgusted by her behavior, but at the end of the day, if your freedom was on the line, I'm pretty sure everybody would take everything, like you would do everything you could to make sure you wasn't spending your nights in jail for too long. Because I think ultimately what's going to happen to Karen is she possibly might be spending 15 to 30 days in the county jail, paying a hefty fine, probably getting her license revoked or suspended, and being on probation or doing community service for at least 3 or 4 years. But again, I think people's feelings are valid. I just think that from some people, I think it's too much, because it's like, it didn't happen to you and it's not happening to you. But I also understand people being affected by those who have been harmed or who have lost somebody because of someone's negligent actions of getting behind the wheel while intoxicated. But at this point, it is what it is. She ain't there. Well, we don't know. We don't know, because Bravo posted when they dropped the seating chart, they also said more info is to come. And then Andy was on Radio Andy with his co-host, basically saying that Karen, they had a moment with Karen. So let me play that for you.
Union on last Thursday.
Now, was Karen there?
Karen was not there.
Ooh, where was...
Karen is checked herself into rehab.
Congratulations. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Now, oh God, what do I give away? I will say this. I think it was the best reunion of the Housewives of Potomac, either ever or since the reunion where Monique brought the binder. Okay. And it was so unexpectedly funny, but also it really moved the needle in terms of story-wise with a few people. And it was very surprising. And I once again feel like a broken record, hyping up reunions, but it was really good. We're on the verge of 3 outstanding reunions.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, Roni, and Potomac. So, I mean, by the way, Potomac still has like 4 or 5 episodes.
I'm up to date on Beverly Hills and Salt Lake.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Caught up last night.
Salt Lake is so good, isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
It's so good. Unbelievable. So that was, I wanna, Karen was not there, but she was there. There was some movement in the Karen Huger
Okay.
camp.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away, but it was great. I will say, watching the back half of that season under the lens of what we know
Right.
about Karen, the body cam footage, and about the verdict, it's fast.
I don't know how much I can believe Andy. Okay, I don't know how much I can believe Mr. Cohan, because he do this every season, every year, where he's like, "Oh, it's great. It was a wonderful reunion," and then we get to the reunion. I said, "This is what you're talking about? Is great." I don't know. I also was wondering if Jacqueline or Jazzy attended the reunion, because when they released the seating chart, neither one of them were featured on it. And I feel like when they released the seating charts for OC and Salt Lake City's reunions, we saw the friends of on the chart. We saw Alexis, and we saw Brittany on the chart. So I'm kind of confused, if she was there. But then this page called Nate Dorelli, and I'm taking everything from them with a grain of salt, because this is also the same page that's trying to push out this narrative that Mia and Kiarna got into a physical altercation. And I was like, I don't know. I don't believe that. I feel like that's all cap. But now all these other pages are popping up saying that it did happen. But we'll talk about that. But pretty much they reposted a screenshot of Jazzy's Insta story where it says this: "Who's ready to see at Jazzy Redo on RHOPH? Let us know and tag at Bravo TV with Team Jazzy at JFMGT Group." First of all, why would anybody be doing hashtag Team Jazzy? You ain't been on the show long enough for anyone to care about you like that. But I am interested to see if she's going to show up to the reunion. We'll probably know once they do the releasing of what the girls wear for the reunion looks. And if she's in the lineup, she's there. If she's not, she's not. So let's talk about this alleged fight that they're saying went down. So on the day of the reunion, Nate Deadly posted this screenshot where it says they got physical at the reunion. And then this one page called Monique's Receipts Book basically said, "It's true, me and Kiarna got into a huge fight. Kiarna left with another scar, allegedly." And then Nate Deadly responded by saying, "Well, IDK, I didn't hear she got a scar, but I did hear Mia kicked her." And then the person responded by saying, and hard, OMG, I heard she's suing. So I said, girl, cap. I feel like this is all cap. Are you serious? And then this other page called the perfect underscore bid said, bloop, streets are saying Mia kicked somebody at the reunion. And then another person said, Candace warned us about her big foot. And this person responded to this person saying, somebody got kicked and effed out. Yeah, someone got kicked and effed out. So I said, girl, what? I would hope Kiana and Mia would not be fighting, but who truly knows? So then the same page, Nate Deadly said, update, Kiana and Mia unfollowed each other. So they actually went to Kiana's page and typed in Mia's name, and she wasn't in the follower count. And then they did it again in followings, and she wasn't there either. So now people are really feeling like, oh my gosh, they got into a physical altercation. But I don't think that happened. I really don't. Don't. But like, I could be wrong. And if it did happen, I'm going to be very disappointed, especially in Kiana, because it's like, girl, you've been trying to push this narrative that like that situation that happened, even though I don't feel like she's responsible for that. I don't. That you aren't this physical type of person, but getting into a fight at the reunion would be even worse for you, because now it would cement that narrative that is you. And then Mia, I would just be like, for real, bro? Like, you really took it there? But I just don't think that's real. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There was another situation about what went down at the reunion, and this is coming from Mad Beats, where they said, breaking news, because Karen Huger chose not to attend the season 9 reunion, producers invited Deborah to confront Kiana. This is why the day before the reunion filming, Deborah postponed mediation with her. They say Kiana walked off in a range and did not return. And so they also posted the court paperwork, and it says the matter was set of mediation with Double Door Dispute Resolution Division on January the 8th, 2025. On December 26, 2028, multiple door information chambers. The mediation was canceled because defendant failed to submit mediation readiness certification. Accordingly, it is that the 27th day of December of 24. Why would they say it like that, Lord? On December the 25th, hereby, order is to remove status hearing is set for Friday, February the 21st, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Virtual court. Instructions of remote access of virtual court are appended for order. And basically, the plaintiff is Kiana and the defendant is Deborah. So Mad Beefs is basically saying that Deborah and Kiana were supposed to have mediation on the 8th of January. Deborah decided not to do mediation because of allegedly the producers asked her to come to the reunion so her and Kiana could have a conversation. I don't know if that's true, but if it happened, you heard it here first. Let's talk about Ashley. So Ashley was on Watch What Happens Live on Sunday, and Andy ended up asking her, like, so what'd you think about Karen and the whole DUI of it all? And Ashley was actually shocked about it. So let me play her response.
Reaction to Karen's DUI verdict and the video that came out and everything.
Pure shock, Andy. Well, we had actually seen Karen's attorney out and about a few weeks before, and he was just saying like, oh, everything's going to be fine, just reassuring us too. It was Giselle, Robin, and I. And so we believed him. We thought they had this in the bag, like they knew what they were doing. When that footage aired and we saw everything that transpired, we wondered how on earth did they decide to go to trial? Like all of that was just so, something's not adding up.
Yes.
Something's not right.
Have you been in touch with her at all?
Just a little bit. I mean, it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
So literally I wished her Merry Christmas, but.
Yeah.
So I think it is crazy that her lawyer was still being like, yeah, she's going to be okay. Girl, that video gave guilty, and more guilty. And I know Ashley was rubbing her hands like Birdman when the videos came out, because I know she was ready to come at Karen's neck, but then Karen didn't come to the reunion, so I know she was like, dang it. But to still be like, oh, everything's fine, things are going the way we wanted, I was like, I mean, granted, they can't tell her, like, no, we about to lose, but I wouldn't have said nothing. I've been like, pray for your friend, and kept it pushing. So then the next thing is Giselle. So y'all know they took a picture on on the boat, Giselle cropped out Mia, and the people are like, oh, I guess it's real that she really not messing with her. Girl, it's a little too late for me. You should have been done cropped her out, and you should have been done unfollowed that lady after she tried your children. Okay, it's giving weak, Giselle. you should have checked that lady. And then the last thing is Wendy. So Wendy retweeted. The statement basically said this: Wendy has become the Real Housewife of Potomac. Karen has been found guilty. Mia and Jacqueline are giving WeTV. Ashley and Giselle are renting men for storylines. TJ's dragging Stacy. Jazzy and Kay got more to prove. Wendy is giving us gorgeous parties, expensive trips, class. She's her. Hashtag RHOP. And some people felt like, yeah, like, call it out. Like, Wendy is that girl. Other people are like, she got a little bit too much dip on her chip. She not even the best part of Potomac. And I was kind of leaning on that side. Now, I like Wendy. Like, don't get me wrong. I like that she's smart. I think she has a gorgeous family. But I find Wendy to be very corny. So she would never be in, like, my top 10 of housewives. Because it reads corn to me. Like, she just is not funny to me like that. There are moments when Wendy really gets, like, she sticks it to the girls, and I enjoy her. I wish she would be more elitist when it comes to, like, being in her, like, intellectual bag, but Wendy doesn't want to be that way, because that's where I really would go up for her. If she kept calling these women stupid and throwing them degrees out there, I'd have been with her, because that's something I would do, okay? But if we are being honest, Wendy is the Real Housewife of Potomac. For real, for real. She has a husband, has beautiful kids. She has the education. She has the status. She going to the White House and things of that nature, having the White House correspondent on her show. She gives us the fashions. She just stepped it up with parties. Well, no, when she had that baby shower for her daughter, that was a nice party. So yeah, I think she stepped it up, and she is the housewife of Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't think they can get rid of Wendy. I know a lot of people feel like this was Wendy's season where they were going to usher her out, because it felt kind of like a farewell. But if you think about it, like this person said, Karen got convicted. Mia and Jacqueline, they not really giving much because everyone's tired of that storyline. Giselle and Ashley not really giving us a storyline, and Jazzy, Stacy, and Kiarna still have things to prove because this is their first season. So on this cast, she really is the housewife, okay? So I'm not negating that, It's just that, like, she not my housewife. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, y'all, I didn't think this was going to be that long, but I know this is a long, spicy corner. But let's get into the review. So I did not expect my spicy corner to be that long, but we had some things to talk about, okay? So let's talk about the episode. So it opens up and everybody is at Giselle and Stacy's villa. Giselle keeps calling it the GOAT. We find out that it's 4th of July. The way that they were acting like 4th of July was such this monumental holiday. And mind you, the nation goes up, people get off of work because it's a federal holiday. But I'm like, they were acting like it was such this, like, family-oriented holiday when I'm like, girl, we were still slaves. So what we celebrating, Like, it'd be different if they was like, oh, we celebrating Juneteenth. But I'm like, girl, it's 4th of July. Everybody just want to go, barbecue and watch some fireworks, Why y'all acting like it's such, like, oh my God, like, Wendy, this is the first holiday without my kids. And I'm like, okay. Like, I was so annoyed by everybody. So we see Ashley and Giselle, well, more so Giselle, struggling how to say, 4th of July in Spanish. Ashley said it pretty well. We see Karen talking to Ray on the phone, trying to figure out what he doing for 4th of July, if the kids are going to go see him. Then we see Ashley come sit down at the table. And she's talking about how she talked to Josh and her boys. And I'm like, girl, don't nobody care about Josh. She calls him little because he's 30 and she's 36. But then she's like, ain't nothing little about him. Girl, we do not care. Okay? We're happy for you, Ashley. You getting age appropriate pintus. I'm great for you. Okay? So we then see Mia pull up. Mia comes in. It's awkward at the table because everybody's like, here she go. And Giselle welcomes her, but Giselle's energy is very much, girl, don't start nothing, won't be none. Like, keep it cute while you over here. So then we see, I think, Karen, Jacqueline, and then Stacy comes. Stacy comes to touch Giselle. And I like the way that Stacy is annoying Giselle because I think eventually they'll be friends, because I had one of those relationships with one of my friends where I was the Stacy. I was just always, like, bothering her. I still still do it to this day. And yet we good. We like this. We friends. So I think their relationship is kind of cute. So, Wendy shares like this is the first holiday without her kids. Mind you, I said, Wendy, what is this outfit? What is this? Now, I am not the type of person that's like, you can't wear certain things. Like, if you bought it, you should be able to wear it. But I was like, I know you ain't go to bed like that. And I said, I know that's not what you wearing on that yacht. So what was the purpose? Okay. But Stacey lets it be known that this is a hard day for her because 17 years ago, her dad passed away. So before she could like get into like why this was such a hard day for her, Mia ends up being like, that video that your daughter sent you, it hit me right in the chest. So we actually see a video from Arabella where she just basically says how she misses her mom. Like, it doesn't feel right that her mom is not at home with her during, like 4th of July and all of that stuff, especially on this day. So what we find out is that Stacey's dad passed away 17 years ago, I guess on 4th of July or maybe the day before 4th of July. Her mom and her went on a girls trip, just to help mitigate the grief of losing her father. On the plane, that's where she met her husband, and her husband and her, they got married. Then, unfortunately, the husband father also passed away on the same day, and this is also the first holiday that, she's experiencing without her husband, without Arabella, the three of them all together. So the day holds a lot of significance. So she gets really emotional. Everyone is just kind of like, whoa, that's a lot. Which it is to like lose your father on that day. You actually meet your husband that you were married to for like several, like almost like 20 years. Then y'all are in the midst of getting a divorce, as well as his dad passes away on that same day. And then it's like your daughter sends you a video about missing you. That's a lot of emotions to deal with for Miss Stacey. So the girls are like, we got you. Wendy is like, girl, we're going to love on you like you've never been loved on before. So don't worry about it. So she was like, even Giselle going to let you touch her. So Stacey touches Giselle's knee, and Giselle's like, okay, that's enough. And she's like, Stacey, because then Stacey caresses her face. I screamed. I thought that was so funny because Giselle was like, no. So then Mia takes this time to actually like apologize, I guess, correctly to Giselle, where she's like, so I wanted to talk to you about last night. And Giselle was like, okay. She said, I said some things that I shouldn't have said, or my delivery was wrong. She was like, I know that we both have this understanding that kids are off limits. And I was like, they're not off limits, girl, because we've seen y'all time and time again say things about people's kids. It's just that people are very disgusted by what you said about her kids. So she said, my delivery was poor, and for that, I truly am sorry. So this was interesting to me. Because on one hand, I really do feel like Giselle should not accept Mia's apology. Like, if anything, I would accept the apology after I smacked you in the face. That would have just, just one quick pop and then called it a day, and then you could apologize to me. But then on the other hand, when Giselle said in the confessional, I've been in a group that's divided and I don't want that, that made me be like, oh, production told you, girl, you're going to have to start accepting people's apologies and not holding grudges. Even though this would be the perfect, and I mean the perfect time for Giselle to like dig her heels in and not accept this lady's apology. But because you wasted it on frivolous moments with Candace and Wendy, you can't use it anymore. That's why you got to be strategic with how you hold grudges, ma'am. Because I'm like, Giselle is well within her right not to like Mia for the things that she allegedly said about her daughters, or even if we didn't even have that moment, her trying to insinuate what she was trying to insinuate at Ashley's what's it called? Fundraising event, charity event. Giselle would be well within her right not to rock with her. And I know a lot of people are like, maybe it's the colorism. And I do think there's a tinge of that, but I think more so it's the fact that production legit probably told Giselle, because the way Giselle was like, I've been in a group that's divided and I don't want that. But Mia tread lightly. I was like, yeah, production told you, girl, if you start to behave the way you have behaved in previous seasons, it's a wrap. And I think Giselle wants to hold on to this job because I feel like Giselle wants to have issues with Mia, but she trying to keep it cute because she messed up her chances. The scene we have is Wendy awkwardly trying It was so awkward. Wendy awkwardly trying to bring up this whole countersuit that Deborah has against Kiana for $7 million. And you could tell that one of the production people probably sent the article to her. But basically, Deborah is countersuing Kiana and pretty much said that Kiana is like fame hungry and she's the one that sent the video of them fighting to TMZ. And what I find very comical is that Deborah really thinks that like whoever came up with that statement is stupid, because the way that Deborah played herself, the same Deborah that wasn't even featured as a friend of, she was just a guest on the show, put RHOP in her bio. The same Deborah that was harassing Candace, talking about when she see her, it's on site pretty much. That same Deborah who desperate, okay, the same desperate Deborah who decided to go, I guess, on Amazon or Sesame Street or down to Walmart or Target or, you know, her local toy store and buy a Cookie Monster puppet and an Elmo puppet and put on her makeup and eat dry cookies, talking about like trying to taunt Candace into being like, I look like Cookie Monster. Girl, you look like Sid the Kid. I told you look like a 1994 Pixar reject. Be happy she gave you Elmo and Cookie Monster, because those are actually cute creatures. Okay, the same person that when you came there that night of the GNA event, you pressed Mia talking about, Mia, I'm a four Mia, like trying to really come at Mia after she said, girl, you are nothing compared to Candace and Wendy. The same Deborah who lied and said that Chris was trying to hit up on her, the same Deborah that lied and said that Happy Eddie wanted a piece. The same Deborah that after the fight happened was on the internet gloating about like, how'd you like the floor? You posted pictures of this lady's like press on nails. You was doing like this, like check the face, no scratches, talking about you was like, you had your real hair. You know, that Deborah is accusing somebody else of being desperate. Girl, the delusions. The delusions. Okay, ma'am. So then they end up asking Kiana, like, what do you feel about that? And Kiana pretty much said, like, she hasn't really paid it any attention because she was like, this is Deborah, someone who's losing. That's just, like, you know, she's throwing a fit because she's losing. So then I think Giselle ends up asking Ashley, well, how do you feel about this? Because this is your friend. And so Ashley ends up just saying, you know, I'm embarrassed that she did something like that, especially because, like, she shouldn't have did it. But right now, my priority is my relationship with Kiana. I don't really believe that, because when have we ever seen Kiana and Ashley really have a conversation? But Ashley knows what to say on camera, because if she supports Deborah in any of this, she looks a mess. So Kiana basically tells Ashley, like, she doesn't really fault her for Deborah's actions, but it's just hard because she knows that they are friends right now. Then Kiana brings up Greg, how, you know, Greg had to take her out to Paris to help her like regroup and like grieve what happened, because she's like, she knows that's not who she is, but that was a very like big and embarrassing moment in her life. So then the ladies get away from the table and we see Giselle pull Ashley to the side and she's like, how you feeling? Because I know that's a lie. And Ashley ends up being like, you know, that was, am I a horrible judge of character? Yes. You decided to marry Michael Pasty Darby. Horrible judge of character, ma'am. You should have known that since day one, all right? We also, while they're talking, you see them harassing Karen in the villa, talking about, Stacey's like, Karen, let me see your butt. Let me see your butt. And Karen's like, what's this obsession with my behind, Stacey? And so pretty much we find out that Kiana let it be known to Ashley that Greg was actually probably going to propose to her when they go on their trip to Paris. Like, the trip to Paris was already set and she was like excited because she was like, they've never been on this huge trip together. So she was expecting him to propose to her. And then after that, after the whole altercation, the fight, it didn't happen. So now Ashley feels bad because she was like, was I the cause of that? Like, am I a part of that? And I was like, yeah, you are. Because you ain't gonna give me, like, I believe that, sorry, you guys, I believe that Ashley did bring Deborah to start a situation with Candace, but I don't believe that Ashley thought it was going to get to the level that it got with Deborah. But I'm also looking at Ashley like, you should have known your friend was a desperado, was a desperate Debbie, a desperate Deborah, like her name is, when she put hashtag RHOP in her bio and she wasn't even featured as a friend of. When she was taunting Candace online. Like, you should have known right then, right there, that that person was somebody you shouldn't have decided to be friends with. But like you said, am I a bad judge of character? Yes, because you married Michael Darby. Because then she goes on to talk about how, you know, Michael isn't handling this situation the way I thought he was, and now the whole thing about bringing Deborah around and she causing harm to people, like, what does that say about me? A lot. They're on the catamaran. It's a nice boat. Wendy is going on about how, you know, Mia had us on a little pontoon boat, but here we are. Okay, we in style. Okay, we're on a nice boat, and it was a nice sized boat. So when they get on the boat, the ladies kind of break up into groups where Karen, Giselle, and Stacy are inside of the boat where the air conditioned. The rest of the ladies are outside of that area sitting around the table where the food and all of that stuff is. And Wendy makes a comment where she was like, she's actually like really worried about Karen, because she was like, here lately, Karen has just been very like drowsy, kind of like tired, and, you know, ready to go. I said, girl, one, she ain't got that liquor in her, and two, like, she probably is tired. Karen is 61 years old. You know, she was like, y'all take it too far sometimes. I want to go lay down. But she probably is stressed about this case. So as the boat is moving out of the port and going out into the ocean, we see the rest of the ladies come out and sit down where the rest of the girls are. And Mia and Wendy decide to go to the front of the boat to take pictures. Wendy ends up asking Mia, so how are you? Like, how, like, because, you know, you've been going through a lot. And Mia ends up being like, girl, I'm fine. Like, the kids are fine. You know, they're still in Virginia. So I guess Gordon didn't even take them out of, like, the state technically. I mean, you know, DC is a province, isn't it? Like, it's not technically a state, but like, I thought he took them to North Carolina, but it seems like he either took them further down in Virginia, maybe like Chesapeake or like Newport News or Hampton or Suffolk or Norfolk, or like they're still in Virginia. They're still, or maybe Williamsburg, who knows? But she was like, they're fine, they're having a good time, they're just really enjoying themselves. So while they're taking pictures, they start we go back to the table with the other ladies. Giselle ends up asking Kiarna, like, well, how does she really feel about this situation with Deborah? Like, I heard that like that situation ruined a proposal for you. And so Kiarna was like, well, no, Greg decided to take, we were going on this trip to Paris, and there was like a possibility that he was going to propose to me. So then Ashley ends up saying how she feels bad, like she feels like she's one of the causes of that situation, and it just really bothers her. And Kiarna's like, no, like don't even do all of that. They flash back to when we see her fine brother. Ooh, he's so cute. And Greg like talking to Kiarna, and Kiarna saying that she feels settled now that like they're living together. And Kiarna basically says that within the next year or so, or a couple of months, she expects Greg to propose to her, because she has like this 3-year time frame. She's like, I'm 36, he's 42. It's time. You know, it's time. All right. And so Ashley ends up being like, yeah, I just still feel bad about it. So then Wendy and Mia come and sit down, and Wendy ends up saying that, like, do you want to know if you were going to get proposed to or not? Because I know the answer. And she's kind of like smirking, and production ends up asking her, well, do you know? And she was like, I'm not going to say anything. But basically she was like, I talked to Kiarna's mom and she let me know. So it does seem like he was going to propose, but because of that whole situation that happened with the fight down at the GNA event, he didn't. And Kiarna basically says it just turned into like a loving on each other, like checking in, wellness type of thing. But she was like, don't be worried about it. It is what it is. I don't know why Kiarna wants to marry Greg, to be honest. I'm just kind of like, clearly y'all aren't compatible. It feel like, I keep saying, it feels like Kiarna is doing like a 180. Like she's used to dating like bad boys, athletes, probably like men that are like more her speed. And now she's flipped over to this leaf of being with a man that has like a stable job and all these things, but yet his personality doesn't match her vibe. And it seems like, and we seen in the trailer where she was like, I feel like I dim myself when I'm around you. And I'm like, I would never want to marry a man where I feel like I have to edit how I behave for him to like me. I wouldn't want to be in no relationship with anybody where I have to pretend not to be myself for you to like me. So I don't understand why she's so pressed to marry this man. I don't get why she's pressed to build a house with him. It's a lot of decisions that she's making that don't make sense to me. So we then see them still on the boat. They start, looking at Ashley's butt. I was like, okay. Mia trying to put her butt on Karen. Karen was like, it's fake. I don't want it. And Mia's like, it's not fake. It's fat from my stomach and my butt. And I said, technically, that's not fake. It's still a part of her. I don't classify that as fake either. So then they start asking Jacqueline about the whole voyeurism thing. That's what Kiana brought up. And Jacqueline said that Mia's only seen her, be intimate with somebody once, but she's seen her be intimate with multiple people several times. And so everyone's like, girl, what? And what's funny is Karen and Stacy's reactions, because Stacy be looking appalled, like clutching my pearls, like, and Karen just be looking disgusted, like, what? Y'all, you really? And so Mia tries to make it equivalent to like you watching like adult content and stuff like that. And everyone's like, no. Giselle was like, the difference between that is like, you don't know these people that you're watching. Y'all know each other. Jacqueline ends up being like, can we move on from this? This happened when I was like 19 and 20, Like, and we were finding ourselves. Okay, girl, y'all were doing a lot of finding. Okay. And so she was like, we're just finding ourselves. You then have Stacy being like, why are we always talking about them having sex? Like, can we move on? Please, Jesus. And then Mia ends up telling this story where like Patrick and Jacqueline were going on a date. They came back to the house. Jacqueline was like very, very stiff. And Mia was like, well, let me show you how to keep your man, or like, let me loosen you up. And then Mia ends up saying, well, that's why I'm the godmother, because after that date, she got pregnant. I said, girl, what? And Jacqueline ends up saying that Patrick didn't have a problem with her like being with women, I guess, but she was just like, all we did was kiss in front of him. So then everyone's like, well, show us how y'all kiss. And it was very like a very like a peck. I said, girl, that wasn't a kiss. I said, y'all lying. Y'all are so lying. And Karen just looking disgusted as they kiss. And she says, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. They then take a picture. Like I said, and I referenced in the spicy corner, Giselle cropped Mia out of this picture. We see them going kayaking. And then while they're on the boat, like on the inside, you got Kiana asking Stacy, is she a top or a bottom? And Stacy is like, girl, what? I'm all of it. I don't know. Stacy was like, I'm sick of y'all asking me all these sexual things. I don't like it. And so Karen starts making jokes about Stacy's flat butt. And it's just a mess. She was like, you think I need to get a butt like Wendy? And I said, girl, that's too much wagging. Too much wagging for you, sis. Too much. But then Stacy is like, I'm perfect. Okay. That's what she did in her confession. I said, come on, Stacy, let them know. Let them know. So they get back to the resort and it's nighttime and they're supposed to be getting ready to go out to dinner. We get this girls' way browsers moment with Jacqueline and Ashley, and I got uncomfortable. I said, this is cringy. And mind you, when I tell you, I do not care if people are like lesbians, gay, trans, non-binary. I don't care. Like, I'm one of those type of people. Let people love who they want to love. Let people be who they want to be. But this scene right here was so cringy and uncomfortable. I said, are they going to start doing things? I said, I don't want to see it. I said, let me change the channel. I was like, this is so uncomfortable. And it feels forced. I was like, And that's why I said Girls Way popped into my head in browsers. I said, what is going on? What is going on? Okay. So they're in the, they're like, Jacqueline's getting ready. You got Ashley, like, is trying to saunter in there to proposition a girl, talking about she a little jealous that Jacqueline has never, like, tried her to kiss her. And she was like, well, I do think you're a beautiful woman. I said, ugh. I was so over it. I was like, oh my God, just kiss already. Can we move on from this, please? And so they kiss because, Ashley wants to kiss Jacqueline. And then Jacqueline was like, oh my gosh, don't tell Mia because she's going to be jealous. And then Ashley's like, oh, for real? But then Jacqueline ends up saying, no, it's okay. You can tell Mia. It's whatever. It's whatever. I said, girl, not you trying to get your boo thing mad that you out here kissing her coworkers. Mess up onto the sprinter. And you end up seeing Wendy make a comment where she was like, I have that dress too, or ooh, nice dress. Pretty much the last person to get on the bus was Mia, and Mia had on the exact same silver dress that Wendy wore to, I think, Jazzy's bachelor, like eligible bachelor party or whatever that she had for the ladies with the NFL. And Wendy ends up bringing up how, the girls is just copying me. You got Karen copying my birthday decor. Now you got Mia wearing my dresses. Like the girls, imitation is the best form of flattery. Like basically Wendy feel like she eating it up. So while they're on the bus, you hear Kiana being like, girl, I'm tired. I don't know how you not tired, talking to Ashley. She was like, I feel like I got barbecued. But then in the back, you hear Mia end up telling Stacy, like, are we going to have a fun time at dinner, or are we going to bring up stuff that happened 3 weeks ago? Pretty much proving that she's not really sorry about what she said about Giselle's daughters, or even bringing up that conversation if what she said about Giselle's daughters is true. It just feels like Mia knows that she's wrong, but she really don't care about it. She just wants it to be over. So they get to the restaurant. I don't know why they had them walking down the walkway like it was a catwalk. It was confusing. You got Ashley, Karen, and Jacqueline walking in together. Then you ended up having Kiana, Wendy, and I think Mia walking together. And then it was Stacy and Giselle walking. I was like, why are they just, everybody, what are we doing? Who said, what, give us a sexy walk down the walkway into the restaurant? I didn't understand it. So they sit down for dinner. The restaurant looked cute. Like I probably would go there. They had like appetizers all at the table. They've been having like a really good time and having fun. So then I don't know if Ashley brought it up or Jacqueline brought it up. I think it was Ashley about her kissing Jacqueline. Stacy's face. Stacy was like, Stacy was so like, ugh. And then Karen was like, why are you kissing Jacqueline? Jacqueline be kissing Mia. You need to go get tested, Ashley. I said, I was with Karen and Stacy. Like, why did you kiss her? Why? So Jacqueline thinks it's funny. Then Wendy ends up saying, like, girl, the room's assignments are doing what they need to do. So then Mia looks irritated, low key, kind of like, oh, so this what we doing, Jacqueline? And so you hear Karen be like, Mia, you look a little upset. Like, you look a little frustrated. And Jacqueline was like, don't be, Mia, it's not that deep. So then Mia basically said these hoes ain't loyal and pretty much made it seem like Jacqueline's a pass around. Anybody can take a piece of her. And so then Jacqueline says, Mia always comes with these digs, but I don't care. You should care. You be acting like that girl is the air you breathe and she disrespects you every single time. It's weird, Jacqueline. Get some self-esteem, okay? Because ain't no way I be friends with her, especially if we done smushed together pocketbooks and you done munched on my carpet, you gonna be disrespecting me. No. I let you taste me and you want to be disrespectful? Yeah, no, girl. We can't. No, we would not be friends. We would not. So then Mia says Jacqueline should have just basically told her what was up. I said, why are you pressed? You got a man. You're still legally married. Why do you care about her kissing on Ashley? So Kiarna is laughing this up. And then I think Ashley ends up saying, Mia, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Like, she told me you was going to be jealous, but don't be jealous. You know, Jacqueline said I was a better kisser. And then Mia's face was like, oh no. Because she was like, because... And then I think Mia ends up being like, that's a lie because I've kissed other parts of her, or if I kissed more lips than her, or something like that. So then Giselle's like, so you went down south? I said, what is going on, Jesus? What you mean you went down south? So Giselle is egging on the conversation because she could tell that's irritating Mia, and because she don't like Mia right now, she's down for it. Stacy thinks it's funny as well that Mia's upset because she's like, girl, what you pressed about? And then Karen is like, Mia's giving very much pimp energy, so it is what it is. So then they were like, kiss again, kiss again. So Karen gets up from the table, and then Mia, not Mia, and all the girls are watching Ashley and Jacqueline kiss. You got Wendy taking a video of it like this, and Mia's like, ah. I said, girl, what is going on? Then Ashley ends up talking about how Jacqueline is helping her get into like her male alter ego because, you know, she's doing that drag show, and the name she goes by is Ashton. I think it's Ashton, but the name is Ashton a ton of pussy. I said, girl. Because I'm telling y'all, I love Drag Race, okay? I've watched every single season of Drag Race, okay? And so I know that drag names are supposed to be like double entendres, or like it's supposed to be like a really good name that like signifies your character or who you are. But I was like, Ashley, what? Ashton a ton of pussy? You couldn't come up with nothing else. And so Wendy is like, what? Everyone's like, okay. So they leave the restaurant, they do fireworks, and they all are like happy because, you know, this is their last day, but they had a good trip. Wendy is like, you know, patting herself on the back because she was like, she gave the girls a really fun trip. Like, she's like, she did that day, and they're all about to like, you know, leave Panama and head back to the States. And we find out that Karen slept in. Like, she did not wake up and eat with the girls on time. She was like, girl, I don't care to talk about Mia and Jacqueline anymore. I'm going to bed and I'm gonna wake up when I want to wake up. So she comes and she sits down, and Wendy said, girl, you missed a lot. So they catching her up on what's going on. You hear Wendy or one of the ladies asked, no, I think it was Mia, asked Giselle about Jamal getting married. And they were like, so what do you think about the lady? What does the girls think about the ladies? And Giselle ends up saying, well, the girls thought that lady was his friend. And somebody was like, the same way they be calling TJ Stacy's friend. And then they were like, well, how do you feel about her? You know, I think someone said she looks like Giselle, but Giselle was like, there's no competition there. That lady don't look like me. But she kind of do. She, not gonna lie, she kind of do look like Giselle a little bit, but it is what it is. So then they also let Karen know that Wendy told Jacqueline to call Patrick and tell Patrick about her kissing Mia and Ashley, because she was like, I think Jacqueline made a comment saying that Patrick might be upset about her kissing Ashley or Mia. But when they're sitting there, she ends up calling Patrick, and she was like, you know, I just wanted to let you know that I kissed Mia. And he kind of seemed irritated. So there's definitely more to Mia and Jacqueline's like relationship, in the sense of it just being like, you know, we get sexual when we feel like it with one another. It does feel like there's a relationship there, because the energy was like, for real. Like, he was kind of irritated, but he kind of just held it in a little bit. And he was like, is that all you got to tell me? And then Jacqueline said, for now. And everyone said, for now. What else done happen? And so Karen said, this seems like a lot is going on with you, with all of y'all. So then Wendy ends up asking Mia, like, I heard you going to Atlanta, like, with what happened with your kids, I thought you would go check up on your kids. And that's when Mia reveals that the kids are in Virginia and they're happy. They don't really want to leave their friends. Like, they're enjoying going swimming, going horseback riding and fishing. I've talked to them. I FaceTime them. My kids are fine. So I'm going to Atlanta. So Ashley chimes in and says, you know, well, Mia is doing something that we all wouldn't normally do, basically shading her, saying, girl, you moving funny, but this is her choice, so we're just going to support her in that. And so Karen kind of had a face like, no, girl, you should probably go see your kids. And I'm with that. You made such a big deal, almost had a panic attack about it. Why not go see your kids first in Virginia and then get on a plane and go to Atlanta and call it a day? If you really was that pressed to go see Ink. But then Mia tries to clear it up in her confessional, being like, well, my son lives in Atlanta and, you know, he has a basketball game. Okay, so it went from you wanting to see your son to now he has a basketball game. Girl, Mia, get it up. Hang it up, Delicious. Hang it up, okay? So they end the trip in toasting, and we'll see them next episode back in the States. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. I know this video is long and I didn't plan for it to be, but here we are. Remember to drop down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe if you like the video. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.